Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming in today. Thank you for listening, and thank you for the support, the comments, and everything you guys sending us a feedback. It's very important. The feedback. I'm so happy to hear from some people when this report helps them really. They apply it as a tool. Okay, not abusing it as a tool, but applying it as a tool and gets better within their energies, gets better within their personality, and so on and so on. Um, Looking at into the charts, actually, I didn't have much time because I was busy on the phone. But anyway, talking about that, after the full moon that it's currently right now, it goes on there in the sky. You probably see it. It's so beautiful. It's incredibly beautiful. Peaceful moon in there. Uh, there's gonna be the wisdom that's gonna be learned of this Libra balance. The balance with everything in life. You can balancing family, work, personal relationships, and so on and so on. Balance is important to have in life. Hopefully, you gain some wisdom for whatever you're going to need. I was looking at into it. So basically, when you wake up in the morning of uh, April 7th, the moon is actually going to be crossing into it's going to be crossing into Scorpio. And there's going to be a very interesting because there's going to be a kite in there. The kite is going to be for these people who actually did their work and they're going to take the flight. The rest of the people, though, they're going to take the fight of things that they need to fight from within so they can gain to that wisdom. In there, the process changes. So, with that being said, I'm going to be kind of like adjusting the screens right now and we're going to be diving in with the things that are going to be. This full moon so far for some of the people was very emotional, but it's a very intense in there. But for some of the people, that moon actually brought them what they were gaining into. They were gaining this divine wisdom from within themselves. And that is it, a very beautiful gift we're getting from the gravity that it's made it out in the solar system, that gravity turns towards the earth. Since we're here on the earth, we're sensing that gravity turns to an energy. The energy that we feel, it turns into emotion. And the emotions we are processing within minds, it becomes a informations. And this is how the astrogravity works. Okay, guys. So now I'm gonna be go up to the charts and talking about this a little bit further, and we are gonna be have to shrink everything I see. It's not easy to work on that, but is in the field. Everything is cool. Everything is all right. So talking about April 7th at 7 o'clock in the morning, a midheaven is going to be in Capricorn. The work that it needs to be done, but what work? Hopefully, that's going to be the work that you have to do for a better life on Earth. That's going to be focused with the love primarily because midheaven is in beautiful trine with Venus in these positions. But midheaven is going to be squaring the Sun, the Chiron, Jupiter, the self growth, the self healing, the self authority inside of it. Be careful also because in midheaven it's opposing Mars in Cancer. So maybe in the morning you're going to be struggling with the stuff that you need to do within family. That's maybe a family situations that prevent you to go to work. There could be a something from within you. It's kind of like I don't want to do this work. So I don't want to get in these situations. The main emotions actually is going to be coming in from the moon. The moon is going to be at 2 degrees 27 minutes of Scorpio. She's going to be squaring Pluto. She's going to be opposing the ascendant and the North Node with Mercury. Basically, you don't want to talk about people. You don't want to talk about situations, especially if there is a things that not going well. But the main energies that I'm talking about here about today, it is about the beautiful kind that's going to be made between the Moon, Mars, the ascendant, the North Node, Mercury, and Saturn. We're talking about the emotions that were hurt, the emotions that are in the shadow, the emotions that we are hiding in ourselves. We see it how interacted with the communications and the energies that are in there with the North Node and Mercury. Okay, we are seeing them down. They're going to be right there in the positions inside. And then we are going to have Mars and Saturn supporting that part of the kite, because on the top of the kite is the North Node and Mercury. But in the side, that it is the support of the teacher and the Mars, who is right now learning. He is primary to become a the divine masculine in the family, the divine masculine energies from within. For some, that's going to be a very beautiful energies. If you do the work that you have to do to the full moon, you have this balance. So guess what? You go into the darkness and it's like, okay, I know how to balance all these energies. I have no issues in there. I have the balance in me. I can balance the thing between work and family and me with others. So I'm okay within that situations. You gain the wisdom from within this. So you're flying. You have no issues. But the people who have not reached the balance, they are going to be have to look at it. What kind of balance, what kind of wisdom they have to gain, because the moon, it's going to help it with Mars and Saturn being like this. We're talking about the biggest teacher teachings, the courage, teaching you to become this grown-up father, to take the father's responsibility, to take the warrior from within you, to build the courage, you to become the best version of yourself in the family. Mars in Cancer, that's where it represents the man, the boy who grow up and becomes a father, responsible father within the family. Okay, that's what that goes in. So this is going to be the energy overall at 7 o'clock. For at 8 o'clock, midheaven is going to be with Pluto. That is going to be this. I mean, we've been talking about all this quite often. We're talking about the situations of Aquarius, Scorpio, Leo, and Taurus situations. In there, I'm kind of like a tired of talking about those four zodiac signs, but it is what it is. Okay, midheaven, it's together with Pluto, who is in 0 degrees, 13 minutes inside of the Aquarius, and since the moon is in the first 2-3 degrees of Scorpio, there is a square there, which just reminds you about the things that you have not transformed in there. Pluto is looking at and is suppressing your destiny and your communications because things has not been learned. There is no proper situations. Who has something to do with all this? Well, Lilith is in the first degrees of Leo. So all that is talking about those energies that have to be worked out during all those seasons the last time. I'm tired of repeating this, but that's how it goes. If you within the astrology, you know that certain things keep repeating and repeating and repeating until it's learned. And if it's learned, maybe it is to become a professional as within that learning. But looking at within that energies in there, it is about pointing out the inner work that needs to be done, you to transform. What do you need to transform in? Love. Pluto, it is trining Venus. Venus right now, it is in Taurus. This is her second home. That is about what love and money, or the love for the money, means to you. So what is that affecting from within your life? The growth for the material things. Are you happy with what you have, or you're never gonna happy with even everything in this world? It all depends entirely within you, and that is a lessons that Venus right now it is teaching. Don't forget about it. That in Taurus we have many things in there. We have the North Node, Mercury. We have Uranus, and at this time at 8 o'clock we also have the Ascendant there, which is that's what you're going to see, the visions that you're going to deal about later on. Hi Sonia, thank you for coming in. And talking about 9 o'clock, midheaven is at 14 degrees of Aquarius. The ascendant is at 8 degrees of Gemini. There is a beautiful trine of ascendant towards Pluto. That's mean gonna look friends or friendship is gonna help you to transform, to look at that energies inside from within, and maybe that energy is gonna be helping you to find the love, the friendliness, love in the earth, which is that is going to help you. Midheaven, though, it is squaring Uranus. Some of you is not going to like what the universe brings, but it's not about what the universe brings to you. It is about you to figure it out that the universe has its own agenda. And understanding this, you're going to have the growth from within. Because Jupiter, it is in sextile with midheaven from within. At 10 o'clock, midheaven is going to be close with Saturn. That is going to be really enhance this learning about yourself, your deepest secrets from within you. Maybe the secrets that you kept from within you was actually the healing from within you. This is going to be taking a lot of courage, you to admit your own faults to your own self. Talking about the moon that is in Scorpio. If you have a something in Scorpio right there within, you probably know about things that you don't say to nobody, but those are things that affect you in your life. And Saturn with trining the moon, that is the teacher who teaches the mother. That is the teacher who teaching you how to use your intuitions. That is the teacher who makes you to feel this sacred part of a woman from within you. He kind of like open up the doors that you didn't want to open. But once you open the doors, what are you gonna do with this? So some people is gonna be opening the door. They're gonna be have a great learning process time within themselves. Great, not just good. I'm talking about great because midheaven together with Saturn is going together from within. Only the issue is that midheaven and Saturn they are squaring Venus. Usually that is a suppression of Saturn who says like that love is not going to be good for you. I mean, you don't want to have a woman who only thinks about money, cars, and situations and so on. You're not going to learn what love is. If you're a woman that thinks about money, cars, and so on, you're never going to learn about love. That's what usually the squaring Saturn with Venus does to teach you to understanding the things from what they are for the reality. And beautiful energy of the midheaven towards Mercury and the North Node. I mean, those two coming in together at the same time, the Sun and Chiron are together. We are talking about developing communications from within yourself. Be true to yourself. Take the authority to heal your own self. Look at the damage from within yourself. Ascendant is going to be at 24 degrees of Gemini. We're talking about friendships with authority. You're going to be looking at the to have a friendships with authoritative figures, someone who actually can help you, someone who can actually look from within. You're not just looking for the friends that you can talk about shoes, you can talk about cars and so on. No, you're talking about for real friends with you. you can share what's going on within your life, and they actually have the authority to help you. Those are the real friendships that you are going to be actually looking at from within your day. Talking about 11 o'clock, midheaven is at 15 degrees of Pisces. The ascendant is together with Mars. Mars is going to be in your vision. What do you need to develop as a masculine energies from within, or understanding about the masculine energies? If you are missing the masculine energies from within you, that means you have to develop it. You have to take the courage. You have to take the stand. You have to be the warrior from within. And let me tell you, Mars has no negative aspects at this time. Mars is in a beautiful, Mars and the ascendants, they are together actually. Uh, they have beautiful trine with Saturn. Saturn has a beautiful trine with the Moon. Moon has a beautiful trine with Saturn and Mars. We're talking about intuitions and learning in there. You need to understand the warrior who understands the intuitions and using it and applying it, he's actually performing it. And that performance is going to be very beautiful. That is a win. That it's going to be lead with communications from within the whole situation, especially internal communications within your own self. So later on at 12 o'clock at noon, midheaven it goes at 2 degrees of Aries. Ascendant is at 20 degrees of Cancer. It's going to begin to oppose in Pluto. You're going to feel like what you see, it cannot perform. What you look, it cannot be said. And this energies is going to be kind of like affecting you for like the next hour and the hour after. For the ascendant is squaring the sun and Mercury at this time. You're going to feel like there is no authority, there is no energies to develop yourself from in that point. But believing in within yourself, you have to believe from within you. Midheaven and Neptune gives you the visions of what you need to do, and it have to be done with love, because the ascendant that is in Cancer actually sextile with Venus, and Venus is trining Pluto. So as you see it right here, what you see as the energy that you need to transform, it is opposing each other. You're not seeing it the right way. But when you go to Venus, okay, Venus is it says, okay, with love I can go and transform, because Venus is entwined with Pluto. So instead of having the fights, you're actually having these beautiful energies of love from within. 718 Sorrow, yo bro. Hey, thank you for coming in. Glad to see you in the chat, and appreciate it that you're here. So later on, we're talking about at 1 o'clock, midheaven it goes together with the Sun and Chiron and Jupiter. Let me read it out to you. Chiron, it's at 15 degrees, 58 minutes. The Sun is at 17 degrees, 37 minutes. Midheaven, that is the work that you're focused at the moment, things that you're doing right now. It is at 18 degrees, 22 minutes. And we have Jupiter right next to it, which is 20 degrees, 44 minutes. None of them have an aspect. Why? That is it, when you have to look everything from within yourself. Sit down for a minute, thinking about your authority from within. Where is your authority took you? Where is your authority get you the situations from within you? 718, glad to see you too. Can I just get a birth chart reading later? I can email you, book within. 718, if you need a personal chart reading, yes, find me on the Facebook, send me a private message, and we can arrange it. It's not a problem with this. We'll be glad to help you for it. And go ahead and in the YouTube banner, on the side of the banner, there is two links. One of them is a Facebook, or if you go to the channel that says About, There is a Facebook link in there. All right, great. So yeah, I'm gonna go again with the report. And talking about that, the ascendant is gonna be at 2 degrees of Leo. We're talking about this time the ascendant is together with Lilith. And seeing at this is a this squaring situations that has been going on for a long time. It kind of like it seems like you have to go through looking at in your ego, then looking at in your shadow side, then you are rebelling from within, then it changing things in the material world, but whatever you do in the material world doesn't work. So you have to go again, going into all those energies. I'm talking about this is a Scorpio, Taurus, Leo, and Aquarius energies. And now these energies are talking to you to see that you're going to be dealing 6, 7 hours after that with all this. But it's going to be gaining the wisdom because the ascendant and Lilith are in divine energies with Saturn. As you see it right now, Saturn, even that is not that much active in Pisces into the physical realm, it's more like restrictions and so on. Saturn actually right now is teaching you at the end of the lessons. This is like what's going on aftermath of with your life. And this is why in the next few years, when a Saturn is transiting into Pisces, this is going to be coming like piece of cake to you because you're going to be reevaluating your life over the next few years. But you're going to be gaining the wisdom, and the next portions of your life is going to be very, very more in a brand new situations from within yourself. So, talking about it, 2 o'clock midheaven is going to be exactly with the North Node, and it's going to be exactly opposing the Moon because the Moon right now it's going to be with in her own South Node. Usually, when the Moon gets with the South Node, that is a self guilt tripping. That is a the self justice. That is a the self put myself down because of things that I did. But that also represents a thankfulness for what I did on that. So you have to look the both sides of the medals within this. But if you're receiving positive energy, let me tell you, the positive energy that comes in from the North Node in Mercury, it spreads out into Mars and Saturn and it goes down to the Moon. But the negative energy, it creates this square situations where the Moon is there. So it all depends of what did you do in your life, what were the situations from within your life, and how did all this happening from within you. What wrong did you did? Do you getting bad karma and you're looking at the bad things from within you, or are you getting a good karma because of the good things that you did? And all this is hiding where? In the shadow, things that you don't talk about it. And now since the moon is in there in the Scorpio, the shadow, the things that you don't talk about it, they're coming out to the surface. This is why the full moon at Libra triggers in it a balance. It can show up in the world one thing, but in reality is something else. You have to bring this shadow side from within. So this is what the fight will be inside of you. Either you're gonna take the flight or you're gonna take the fight. Either way, you learn the wisdoms inside of you. So at 3 o'clock is gonna be a very kind of like an interesting energies because that's gonna be the midheaven transitioning together with Uranus there. Uranus is in beautiful positions in there. It doesn't have kind of like so many aspects talking about. But the midheaven, it's very close into Venus. So somewhere around 3:30, you may gonna feel love from out of the nowhere. It's just love. It is just the love that transforming you. Okay, you're gonna see that. You're gonna look at it from with this. But right now at 3 o'clock, this energy, the ascendant is at 26 degrees of Leo, is totally squaring Venus. Okay, it is squaring Venus, and it's gonna be like nobody loves me, nobody get these situations, nobody this, nobody that, and so on and so on. It's not about you. If you have the love, you give the love. If you don't have the love, you develop the love. That's how it goes. But if you expecting the love from others to come from outside source, you're depending on that. Now you become a codependent situations. Okay. So it's gonna be some triggers on that positions, but there's gonna be a divining visions from that because of the ascendant is gonna be a divine energies with Neptune. It's going to be a beautiful time if you see these visions. So in the next hour at 4 o'clock, midheaven is going to be in Gemini. We pay attention. That is it, the ascendant that was before. Looking at that friendship. Probably right now you're talking about this friends, this authoritative friends that helps you to transform. You see it a few hours before that you need a friend. That idea kind of like hit the bulb. It's like I know who to talk to. I know what you need to do. I know who can help me. I just have to go ahead and talk about it. You do that, that is going to help you from within. Ascendant, that is in Virgo, it is in very beautiful positions. Ascendant at 7 degrees, it is sextile the moon at 7 degrees, it is sextile the Mars, who is at 6 degrees 40 minutes, pretty much 7 degrees in there. And Mars, it is sextile the North Node and Mercury, and Mercury and the North Node are sextiling Saturn. Don't you see that all those energies are connecting to each other? This is how that you can't just go and do things. You have to understand the processes of the changes. So basically, what is that telling you? The ascendant, it's telling you that looking at your masculine energies, which is Mars, Mars says like, hey, learn to communicate about your destiny from within and what you learn about this destiny, and make sure you know the teacher. You go into the teacher energy, what you said, and the Saturn says like here, I teaching you how to use your proper intuitions from within. Don't hide things in the shadow. That's what the lesson is. And looking at the as these energies, they're gonna be beautiful for yourself. You do this for you. Okay. So later on at 5 o'clock, the ascendant goes at 19 degrees in Virgo. There is a triple divine energies this time. They're coming from Chiron, the Sun, and Jupiter. And a midheaven is sextiling Jupiter, Chiron, and the Sun. Growth of your authority when you heal within divine energies in divine love. Ascendant is a beautiful trine with Venus and Uranus at this time. That's a beautiful earth trine. Healing. If you lost something in the material world, let it go with love. If the universe took something from you, then you should not have it. If the universe brings something to you, then you should have it. If the love comes to you, then you should have it. That's what this energy will be. But be careful with this because maybe not the things that you actually want and like. Because the ascendant at 19 degrees is going to be almost begin to opposing Neptune that is in Pisces. You might feel not seeing the right things in there, confusions, kind of like a distort visions. You see this, but you don't know what actually is and so on. So this energies is going to be very kind of like confusing at this time. But you're going to be looking at for that friend who's going to be helping you. So talking about 6 o'clock energies, you're probably talking to that friend right now. 6 o'clock because there is a very powerful masculine energies, because right now midheaven is together with Mars. Have you remembered what happened 5 6 hours prior when the ascendant was on Mars? What you have to deal with now, you're actually dealing with it. You're actually dealing with it. And Mars right now is in beautiful trines with the moon. It's going into the shadow, looking at the sight with courage. He goes and put the courage from within. A lot of the people can get a courage to finally come out of the shadow, come out of the closet, some sort. In situations like this, Saturn, this kite that we're talking about all day, is going to be very powerful. Is going to be empowered with Mars. Really, it's going to be empowered. Ascendant is at 1 degrees of Libra. Is going to be remind you about the beginning when the moon entering Libra, about the balance and what the balance will be. Saturn, who is the karmic teacher, and on the other side of the yacht, which is actually the other side of the divine energy, it is the destiny karma, the North Node together with Mercury. Fixing it, the things from within yourself, balancing the energies. You're not stressing anymore. You're gelling, magelling right now for it. Wherever you go, you're feeling good. If you have now balance, guess what's going on? If you don't have the balance, you're in a fight with Mars because the ascendant is squaring Mars in the midheaven. You also have an oppositions with Neptune, and Neptune is squaring midheaven. Now you actually took the wrong visions from inside of it. You didn't took the divine visions of the situations. You took your own visions, and guess what? You are in a fight. But whoever goes in a fight, he doesn't understand and learn that the biggest prize after a fight it's peace. And if you cannot find the peace from within, you're creating a war within. How are you gonna find this peace? Only way you can find the peace is balancing yourself out. So at 7 p.m., the ascendant is going to be at Libra, intense energies with Mars, of course. For those who have and cannot maintain the balance, then the things are, you're trying to take the things in your own hands in there. This is going to be kind of like a review of the full moon, because ascendant is at 13 degrees of Libra. It is opposing the Sun, Chiron, and Jupiter. And a midheaven that is in Cancer is squaring all these situations. So be careful between you, what you're thinking about, your family, how you're looking at from within, and a relationship, because probably there is a lot of mess that is in there that needs to be squared away. It needs to be fixed. It needs to be balanced inside of you and tend with everybody else around you, because the midheaven is in Cancer. That is it at 7 p.m. You're going to be doing something within the family. So be careful what you do within the family. If using the right energies there, midheaven is in trine with the moon is in trine with Saturn, and Saturn is in trine with Mars in there. As you see it, those going to be the positive emotions. You may have to cry, you may have to confess, you may have to look into things, but the end of this result, okay, is going to be growth. Growth for everyone in the family, specifically for talking about masculine energies. So at 8 o'clock p.m., midheaven goes at 0 degrees of Leo. In there, the ascendant is still at 25 degrees of Libra. There's going to be divine energies with Venus. That is going to be remind you about what tonight is actually happened for it. Okay, currently that's what the moon is. But since I'm talking to you about the April 7th, that divine energies is going to be a remind you of what you're going to get it tonight. It's going to be a beautiful yacht made by Venus and Neptune that is in Pisces. talking about the Taurus and the Pisces energies towards the divine energies, they are pointing out towards Libra. That is mean the spiritual life that you have within you, your spiritual visions with the material love that you experiencing on earth. And you have balance within those two. Now you're reaching some lesson of divine wisdom from within. So at 9 o'clock, the energies are getting interesting. For it, there could be flights, there could be fights. And I mean it when I said this, because right now the ascendant is with the moon, focusing on those 2 points of the intuitions that comes in from the ego, that it's angry, has her own agenda, have the secrets, has the doubts, have the disrespect, and have everything that the dark side of the Scorpio has, which is actually what the Scorpio doesn't like. Let me tell you this: the Scorpio doesn't like deceits, doesn't like cheating, doesn't like deceiving, discards, and so on. But when he does it, it is all good. It's all okay. But now we're talking about within those energies. We're also talking about the good side of all this. It's going to be the illuminations from within. Talking about seeing the two sides, the good and the bad at the same time. And those going to be these energies of the kind that you felt it in the morning, and together with the fights from with the north nodes and Mercury. Since the ascendant is there, midheaven is at 14 degrees of Leo, and that is going to be a squaring towards Lilith and the midheaven have a double squares towards the ascendant and the moon. They have a double squares towards the north node and Mercury, and the north node Mercury and also Uranus. They are opposing the moon, and opposing the moon, and the top of everything is squaring Pluto. So talking about lack of transformations, talking about a lot of ego brought it in, a lot of controls that it goes on from within, and it's talking about like nothing happens because the karma is there. It's like, hey, you haven't learned all this. You're fighting with the karma. Well, bad karma, it's coming, and so on. But here is a good sign in there, though. We're talking about this when I started the gravitational report. That is it about that ascendant in the moon. They're a beautiful trine with Mars, who becomes divine masculine, and he knows how to communicate, and he receives a good karma from the North Node. Mars is also a transit with Saturn. He learned his lessons, and Saturn, it is like great job, intuition. You did the great work. You right now understanding the value that think of the shadow did one thing. They stole from your future because you're hitting things in the shadow. And this is going to be a one huge lesson for some people, but that's how these energies are going. Since Scorpio doesn't like hitting things, they actually slow down with their own progress. But you need to understand Scorpio is about progress. Scorpio is about charging forward. But in what way? At what price? So at 10 o'clock at night, midheaven, it's a 0 degrees of Virgo. There is a divine energies with Pluto. Some of you are going to find out through the hard things or through the good things, the divine transformations from within that has been done. Ascendant is at 19 degrees of Scorpio. You're going to feel it overnight between April 7th towards April 8th. You're going to feel these divine energies with Jupiter and the Sun. They're coming together. They don't have major aspects at all. Why? Because your self-growth, it is self-growth. Don't expect someone to come in and help you. You have to help yourself. You put yourself in the mess, you have to get out of yourself out of the mess. You put yourself in a good positions, you have to be happy in yourself positions. And that's what is going to be a major, major advancement for some people, but there could be an advanced learning and advanced progress for some people. Midheaven is opposing Saturn. So some of the people is going to be feel like, well, I have not learned anything. I screwed up again. Midheaven, it's also squaring Venus, and a Venus squaring Saturn. That is a like, I didn't learn anything about love. I didn't learn what love is. I don't know what love is. What I need to do. What do you need to do? There is answers in there. Listen to your karma. The karma, the North Node, and Mercury can deliver it on messages to you. Don't forget about it that Mercury is the messengers of God. Okay, and right now, where he's at in Taurus, talking about what's going on in North within your situations inside of the Earth. And let's finish it with 11 o'clock. Midheaven goes at 16 degrees of Virgo, divine energies with the Sun and Jupiter, divine healings in there. You find out the things through the day. You find the things through the flight, or you found the things through the fight. All you do, it is the divine healing and the divine growth from within. The ascendant is at 0 degree at Sag. That is going to be direct oppositions with Venus, and that's going to be a square with Saturn. Saturn squares Venus as well, and it's going to be about love. What do you do with the love within you? Are you allowing the love to grow within you? Are you codependent on love, or are you developing the love within yourself? And this is why the Sun and Jupiter, when they come together, this is going to be a very beautiful self-empowerment moment, guys. So take your time, sit down with yourself, realize what you need to grow within, and go conquer the world within yourself. All right, guys. I love you. If you have any more questions, guys, please let me know. If not, let's close the chat and we can come back tomorrow for another astrogravitational report, guys. Love you all. Thank you, 718. All right. Be loved, guys.